Oh, really?
I don't think, I don't
either.
know. I don't know. I was thinking it was probably this person.
Rod would never allow it. I know, but Rod would never.
Whoever would.
I mean, if we could just sit with him.
Would everyone please rise for a pledge of allegiance to our country's flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would the clerk please make a roll call?
Heidi, Clinker, Nargi.
Here.
Reynolds.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Allersmeyer.
Here.
Williamson.
Here.
Downing.
Here.
Campbell.
Here.
Quorum present.
You have received the minutes of the June 3rd meeting. Are there any corrections to those minutes? There being none, I would entertain a motion to approve those minutes as communicated. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Thank you. Presentation and disposal of claims.
There are none.
Presentation of petitions and communications.
There are none.
Reports of city offices on file in the city clerk's office.
Fleet Maintenance, monthly May. Waterworks Department, monthly May. Police Department, monthly May. And Renew Department, monthly May.
All of those reports are on file for anybody to examine during the regular hours of the city. There are no ordinances for second reading. I believe we have 3 ordinances for first reading. Clerk will do it.
Ordinance 2019-19, an ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance in Tippecanoe County, Indiana to rezone certain real estate from R1 to I3, 2149 Wabash Avenue, T-Scan Concrete Structures LLC petitioners.
What's the pleasure of the council, Mrs.
I move we
Nargi?
hear ordinance 2019-19.
I second.
Good. Are there any comments that you want to make before we hear from the people here? There being none? Yes, sir.
Campbell, ladies and gentlemen, Dan Teeter, attorneys Riley, Teeter, and Schreier. I represent the petitioner. Petitioner's representative is Mark Olson. He's present, and he'd be happy to respond to any comments or questions that you might have. He's also the architect for the overall project. So I'm showing you what we want to rezone, but the bigger item, I think, is to tell you what's coming for the future with that. So as you're aware, we're requesting rezone from R1 to I3. It's a 4-acre tract. It's on the north side of Walker Lane. We received a favorable staff report, 11 yes to 0 no vote from Area Plan Commission as well, both for the rezoning and for the commitment. The commitment runs with the land, and we added that to it so we would eliminate a lot of uses that weren't appropriate for that area. I'm not going to give you all of them, but I will say it includes the trash transfer station, junkyard, and outdoor sign. This site's been used as industrial I-3 for over 60 years, so it hasn't changed. It's just, for some reason, the zoning never got corrected. So it's really a housekeeping error, in my opinion, to correct that and get the right zoning for it. So we plan on this portion of the site to be used for storage, but the overall site will have some other uses to it. So I gave you 2 handouts. The first handout is just a 1-pager. It shows you in blue the property that we're rezoning. And then to the north and to the west is the additional 20 acres that we're going to include in the overall project. So then I would call your attention then to the next handout, which is the packet, and ask you to look, turn to the first page or turn it over. And that building is what they're proposing to build on the southwest corner of the overall site. It's going to be about 16,000 square feet, $3 to $5 million in cost, and it's going to really improve the area, in my opinion. We also have going at the same time, Sagamore Ready Mix is building a batch plant. It's under construction. It's about a $2 million project. It's on the north side of the site, and it'll have about 50 employees with it. So the reason I wanted to show you this particular picture is that this generally is how the building will look, but I'm calling your attention to what we call as a sound wall. And that's a 10-foot high sound wall or stone fence, and in front of that will be the landscape. So we met with the mayor, we met with the city engineer's office, and discussed this because generally in I-3, you do a 30-foot buffer yard under the new changes in the Unified Zoning Ordinance. So we asked, do you want a 30-foot buffer yard, or will you prefer the sound wall with landscaping in front of it? Unanimously, they wanted the sound wall with landscaping in front of it. So if you look at the next page, again, it shows you another picture of that. And then if you look at the very last page, that shows you a really good example of the sound wall and the landscaping. Okay? Then if you go to the second to the last page, and that's really our site plan that we're going to do for this. So you can see Walker, you can see Beck, you can see Wabash. So along Wabash and Beck, we're going to improve that with substantial green space in there. Obviously, the building's going to help with that. And then on the southern portion of the entire site will be the sound wall and the buffer yard. So I think that, in my opinion, gives the protection for the neighbors. Obviously, the sound, but they're not going to be able to see anything either. What's there now is just overgrown brush. It's not very attractive. So I think what we have here will be a lot more attractive to it. Also, you can see where the batch plant is to the north, and then beyond that is the steep ravines and a railroad track. So we're kind of buffered from everything. This site's been here, like we said, forever. We got other commercial properties right in the same area with us. So with that, we would respectfully request your approval. I'd be happy to respond to any comments or questions.
Do you have some schedule of maintenance of that wall from the standpoint of painting people?
I don't think you have to paint it, do you?
It's a precast concrete wall.
It's very similar to the one that we fought to get out along 65 when they were widening the road for people that live in Maple Heights and through there. And they're just about making sure that somebody doesn't run into a car.
That makes a nice palette for people to paint. I think you ought to make some arrangements for maintenance of that. Any other questions? There being none, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else in the audience wish to address this particular ordinance? There being none, would the clerk then conduct a roll call vote on ordinance 2019-19?
Nargi?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Aye.
Brown?
Aye.
Allersmeyer?
Aye.
Williamson?
Aye.
Downey?
Aye.
Ordinance passes 6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ordinance 2019-20.
An ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of Tippecanoe County, Indiana to rezone certain real estate from R3 and GB to PDRS, a single 25.07 acre lot on the south side of Trickingham Boulevard, Redwood Acquisitions LLC petitioner.
Mr. Brown?
Mr. President, I move we hear and approve ordinance 2019-20.
Second?
Thank you. Any discussion by members of the Common Council? Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, Sarah Wyatt of Ball Eggleston on behalf of the petitioner. This is a rezone from R3 and GB to PDRS for the purposes of building a multifamily residential development on approximately 25 acres. This petition received an approval from the Tippecanoe County Area Plan Commission by a vote of 11-0, and we would ask that the members vote in favor of this petition this evening as well. I do have Russell Brown, Bob Dyer, and Josh Krybaler, who have been working on the development, who are available to describe some visuals of the project and answer any questions that the members may have this evening.
Thank you. Any questions of this young lady? There being none, is there anyone else in the audience who would like to address this particular ordinance?
So do you have other pictures other than that?
We do have visuals here available, and I'll have Josh just stand and describe
We'll have to go
this.
into a quick overview of the project.
Yeah.
Mr. President, members of the council, my name is Russell Brown. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Clark Quinn, Moses, Scott & Grahn, 320 North Meridian Street in Indianapolis. walk you through the visuals here that Josh has. We have, as Sarah indicated, as the ordinance reads, proposed rezoning to allow for what will be a multifamily development. Would be 173 proposed units. The site plan and landscape plan there on the easel shows the proposed layout. The renderings here show what the visual orientation of the property would be from Twickenham. So you see that though that is the back door of these single-story multifamily development, it looks like the front porch, or what you would anticipate a front porch area to look like. Redwood, as a developer, does single-story market rate development. That's what they do. They have more than 10,000 units across about a little bit more than a half dozen states, and they do single-story multifamily. It is market rate. These units will be between 1,300 and 1,800 square feet apiece, all with a two-car attached garage. Rents will be in the $1,400 to $1,900 a month range. Attract young professionals, empty nesters is the target demographic. They are not age restricted, but do essentially self-select for those folks who are either moving up in the housing market or moving down in the housing market. And again, with more than 10,000 units across about a half a dozen states, all conventionally financed, all market rate. They do not, have never sold a development. Very proud of that fact, and one of the, if not the largest, one of the largest single-story multifamily developers in the country. I'd be remiss if I didn't say thank you to the mayor for taking time to meet with our team several months ago to walk through some of the concerns that we initially had when this was filed. The Tippecanoe planning staff has been fantastic to work with. They've helped us along. Variety of your city staff has given a lot of time through this project as well. So engineering staff, I think, is tired of hearing about this project. I think we met with them 5 or 6 times, and Dennis has been very well to work with as well. So I'm happy to answer any questions, or if there's
What would the
more.
market rate be presently in today's market?
Yeah, so market rate on these will start at about $1,400 a month for the smaller end. So $1,400 to $1,800, depending on the size of unit that you're looking at. So roughly $1.10 to $1.25 a square foot per month.
What is a red mark in the corner?
That's the logo, the company's logo.
Oh, okay. Thank
So
you.
that will be prominent on the entry signs that are there, and that's the marketing that they utilize for all of their properties.
Thank you.
What amenities are also available in this development?
So because there will be a couple, dog park is a big part, one that's located, it's kind of in the, what would be the south, yeah, Josh is pointing to it, southwest corner. Will be a walking trail. It's not shown on this iteration of the site plan, but there is in the site plan that was approved by the Plan Commission, a walking trail around the pond. It has a gazebo as well. So those are the prominent amenities. Because it's not attracted and marketed towards families with children, you don't have a pool, you don't have a clubhouse. Instead of putting the development dollars into those amenities, put the development dollars into a higher quality finish, granite countertops, often stainless steel appliances, higher end finishes in the units, instead of putting those in amenities that aren't attractive to the typical residents.
Do residents maintain the grounds, or is there a maintenance fee for that?
No, these are all for rent, so this is just owned and managed by Redwood, single owner. These are private streets, so they are maintained, plowed by Redwood, again, as an attraction to the users, to the potential residents. That's something that they do in all of their communities.
Thank you.
Now, you say there's probably not many children, but do you know what school corporation this is in? Is it Tippecanoe or Lafayette?
It's Tippecanoe.
Tippecanoe.
Yes.
Say again?
It's Tippecanoe County.
But it's their school, because the line is sort of,
Yeah.
runs right in there, but it is Tippecanoe School
Yeah,
Corporation?
Sarah confirmed that it is
Yeah,
Tippecanoe
okay.
County Schools.
What attracted you guys to the city of Lafayette for this development?
So Redwood's in about a dozen has about a dozen neighborhoods in Indiana currently. Been in Indiana since 2012. you're generally looking for certain demographic characteristics. You're looking for certain income levels, you're looking for certain homeownership kind of thresholds. I can tell you the other county, or other communities that Redwood is in, currently has 2 in Westfield, 2 in Noblesville, 1 in Whitestown, 3 in Hendricks County, Avon, Brownsburg, Danville, has 1 on the south side of Indianapolis. Has a handful in Fort Wayne as well. Currently working in Greenwood, Greenfield, Lafayette, a couple in Warsaw, in the northwest Indiana, also in the Louisville market. So looking for certain population threshold, kind of mobility in your residential community, and where there's kind of a void for this type of product. Something that's a little bit higher end on the rent scale, but also, this is a larger floor plan, so you're not typically attracting someone who's looking for just a studio apartment. You're also not attracting someone who wants a 3-bedroom or 4-bedroom kind of for rent product. So I think there's a market study that shows that there's a void in this market, and that this can be a successful development here. So actually been looking probably for about 2 years for a proposed location here. I've been working on this site for about 9 months now.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions of this gentleman? Thank you. Any questions, period? None? Would the clerk then conduct a roll call vote? Mrs. Nargi?
Aye.
Oh, here, I'll do that. Nancy?
Aye.
Reynolds?
Aye.
Brown?
Aye.
Ollismeyer?
Aye.
Williamson?
Aye.
Downing?
Aye.
Ordinance passes 6-0. Take my job.
We found out that we missed about 8 ordinances that need to be considered. And we will do that in the same way we did it last time. Mrs. Williamson and Mr. Downing, if you would introduce those ordinances, and then
Tax abatements.
the roll.
Ask Dennis to come.
I thought I saw,
Yeah, Dennis is
come on, come on, come on.
Go on. Compliance and benefits.
I'm sorry, you were saying ordinances, I didn't realize you meant our tax abatement compliances. All right, good evening, Dennis Carson, Economic Development Director for the City of Lafayette. We have a few more compliances here for tax abatement. These were 2 companies that filed for extensions of their property taxes, so that's why you're seeing them now instead of last month. I'll tell you, the Redevelopment Commission also reviewed these last month, and they approved a recommendation for approval for each of these for the City Council. But we'll go through these. We have, again, just 3 companies here. The first one is Arconic, which has one real estate abatement and 2 personal properties abatements, and they were found in compliance through the Redevelopment Commission, and that's our recommendation.
I move that we find Arconic real estate and personal property abatements in compliance.
Second. Any questions? Then would the clerk conduct a roll call vote on
We can do these just by voice vote. We can just all-
voice? Okay, good. Voice vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you.
Then we have 2 from Caterpillar Inc. They're both personal property, and we find them in substantial compliance.
I move that we find Caterpillar in compliance on their personal property tax abatements.
Second. Any questions? Would the clerk then conduct a roll call vote?
We can do it all voice.
You want them all?
Yeah, voice vote, yeah.
Okay. Wait a minute. Go ahead.
All in favor?
All in favor? All in favor? Covered? Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Thank you.
And the last one is Caterpillar Logistics, and the recommendation is to find them in substantial compliance with their tax abatement compliance.
I move that we find Caterpillar Logistics in compliance with their personal property abatement.
Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
You bet. Keep on helping.
Yes, sir, you're fine. You're fine. Okay.
Okay, I
Here,
think
sorry.
that we have
Right here. I've got you all messed up here.
a report by the mayor. Reports of councilmen.
Mr. Campbell, if I may, no report, but I want to thank, I've been working with a little bit with the ordinance enforcement, Matt Devine and Cecil Johnson, and they've done a very nice job, and I wanted to say something publicly about it. And then in the engineering department, I've been working with Dave Griffey and Courtney Cobb, and they also have been doing a very nice job. Just wanted to report that.
Thank you. That's good. Any other reports by councilmen? Public comments. Any public comment? Will somebody call Heidi so we can have it adjourned?
I move to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second?
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Thank you.